Mr. Hoover ended up with a 90.31 GPA, and it came down to the very last test to see who would be the valedictorian. And he beat out the other person by 0.6 of a point, which was pretty close. So we'd like to bring Mr. Hoover up now to give a word.
Is Cadet Henderson here? We'll go ahead and get started then. Good evening, my name is Cadet Hoover, and I'd like a round of applause after everything I say. You know, Dad, when you made me take public speaking in high school, who would have thought that I'd be here one day?
I did.
My wife timed my speech, Instructor Stewart, and it was 37 minutes long. Until I took out my stories about Cadet Brooks, and I narrowed it down to 11 minutes, so bear with me. Wow, cadets, we never thought we would make it to tonight. Definitely not Cadet Reed. But here we are. The 2013 graduating class of Lone Star Police Academy, Class 1301D. Instructor Stewart said we were the worst class in basic, the best class in advanced, and by far the craziest and funniest class he's ever had. But no matter what is said about us, we are honored that we are graduating from one of the top police academies in Texas. That being since the leadership of Instructor Stewart and Mitchell, they have attained 100% T-close passing scores to back it up. But we did not do it on our own. First and foremost, without God, we would not have breath.
Amen.
Secondly, to the cadet spouses, kids, and parents, we would like to thank you for your sacrifice. Without the support of you guys, many of us would have quit and sought an easier and less challenging path. To Krista, my wife, thank you for your encouragement and prayers. I love you. To our employers and co-workers, thank you for assisting us in this journey. Thank you to Lone Star College, to Instructor Stewart, Instructor Mitchell, and all the adjuncts. Thank you for your wisdom, guidance, and blank stares throughout the academy when we did not have an answer. And to Miss Charlotte, the glue that holds everything together behind the scenes. I'd also like at this time to give special attention to some of my fellow cadets who served our country in the Afghanistan and Iraq wars. Cadet Reed, you stand. Cadet Brooks. Cadet Carney. Cadet Cruz. These men served abroad and overseas, and now they'll be serving us here. Thank you, guys. Before we graduate and do great things in law enforcement, let's reflect back a little on our academy. 5.5 months, 106 days, 671 hours, 30 hours praying, over 15 times being smoked in the hallway to do PT, and hundreds of hours studying. It all culminates tonight. The best way to describe our academy was what Instructor Mitchell told us the first day of class. This police academy is one of the hardest things you'll ever do in your life. It's like trying to take a sip of water out of a fire hydrant. I'm positive that my fellow cadets would concur. So much information was thrown at us, and just trying to soak it all in is a feat not many can handle. Just look around the room. We started with 43 cadets, and we are the 19 that finished. We should be proud. All of the knowledge we have learned will no doubt be valuable as we go forward in life. But I think the most important thing we have learned in the past months is how to work together as a team and growing together as a family. The reason I say family is because we have spent more time with each other than we have with our own families over the past months, and way more time than we care to spend with some people by default cadet lifestyle. No, I have to admit there were certain people that made this class more enjoyable and helped give us that comic relief in between the stories of murders and videos of violence that we studied and watched that help prepare us for what it is to come, the reality of being the police. To compare our class with the movie Police Academy, I could say we had our own version of Moses Hightower, aka Bubba Smith. Our version was Mario Williams. Both were about 6'8", 260, and he did not need a chair to stand on when the projector needed to be turned on. He just reached up there. Who else can say that they attended an academy with an NFL celebrity and former Houston Texan? We also had our own version of funny man Michael Winslow, which would definitely be Cadet Brooks. I always said that if you don't make it in law enforcement, bro, we will definitely see you on Comedy Central or Saturday Night Live. The only person I know that can impersonate someone after spending 5 seconds with them. I've never laughed so hard in my life being surrounded by Cadet Brooks. And Cadet Reed, with his uncanny outbursts in the middle of lecture or a bloody autopsy photo. You guys made Red Squad the best. In Sparta, even though you're from East County, man, you still have an awesome name. And we all know that you'll miss Cadet Reed the most from sitting next to him. Officer Sparta has a certain ring to it. Speaking of officers, Ballard, congratulations, man. Stand up. Ballard's one of the first. No, you are the first that secured a job so far. Congratulations, man. And heck, we even had our own band. The Lone Star Tone Stars. But we'll keep you posted on the upcoming concert dates. I don't know which class that I enjoyed the most at the academy. I guess everyone is probably different in that regard. But I will say that anytime you get to drive someone else's car and they tell you to tear it up, or when you can shoot a pistol and shotgun for 7 days straight, you can't go wrong. But I will argue to this day, when your instructor says unload your weapon downrange, that can also mean fire in it. Sorry about yours, Henderson. And Cadet Brooks, we all know you were aiming to destroy the hangar for that target. You played that off good. Many classes throughout our academy, we had to work with partners, one of those being mechanics of arrest. Where else do you get to beat this serious bodily injury crap out of each other and not get assault charges placed on you? We will never forget common perineal leg kicks, femoral nerve knee kicks, and the brachial plexus stun. If you do not know what these are, ask a cadet, and I'm sure they will gladly demonstrate. Instructor Mitchell, we all know that was your favorite class. The motto was ice by day and hot baths by night, or at least for myself and Cadet Gillock. With the older ones in the academy. I would actually have to say the worst but most influential class would have been building clearing and felony arrests. There's nothing like doing 50 jumping jacks, 25 sit-ups, and running up and down the hallways in your duty rig to get your adrenaline pumping, and then go into a warehouse to clear all the rooms of bad guys, except maybe for the real thing. And when you come out, your partner is covered in drywall dust and looks like he has bloody chicken pox from being shot 39 times with an automatic AK-47 pellet gun. Instructor Stewart, you had way too much fun with my partner, Cadet Halo, on his 72nd birthday. Yellow and Lavender, you guys taught us everything not to do. When pulling over a truck full of drunk college girls with Officer Brooks as a homosexual male driver. Cadet Brown, we will never forget how you dropped it like it was hot. With your butt hanging out the window, mooning Officer Lavender. I had to throw that in there. No, Cadet Brown, in all sincerity, I want to extol you for being a great leader. You are a class liaison and you did a great job at it. I know one day you will make a great sergeant or captain, and I would enjoy working with you any day. To me, one of the most profound things, but yet simple, that I heard in this academy would have been what Instructor Mitchell told us. And that was, when God created us, He knew that there would be criminals also. So He created a space in between the ulna bone and the scaphoid bone, or wrist, where a pair of handcuffs will fit just perfect. If God knew this when He created us, then He also knew that there would have to be someone to put those handcuffs on. And that's where we come in. Before and throughout this academy, different people asked me, Brad, why do you want to become a cop? And Brad, what would make you want to do that line of work? When I honestly stopped and asked myself why, I didn't have a grand response. I know some of you guys have wanted to do this since you were little, and some have families that have police officers in them, and you want to follow in their footsteps. For me, I believe that answer will come throughout my career, and at the end I will be able to reflect back on different memories, cases, and instances where I can say, wow, this is why I became a cop. Or, oh yeah, that's why I chose this profession. And that's when I will have my grand response. There's a scripture in the Bible that reads, blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Today we enter into that calling of being full-time peacemakers, because it is definitely a calling that few will accept. In closing, I would like to read a poem written by a fellow police officer, Ryan Owen, titled, Why God Made a Police Officer. On the 8th day, God looked down on His creation, and He decided He needed a protector. He needed someone to work at all hours of the day and night to protect those who don't even want Him around. Someone to run 6 blocks through alleys and over fences to capture a thief for a victim that's ungrateful because he didn't do it fast enough. So God made a police officer. He needed someone to get punched, kicked, bit, spit on, run over, ridiculed, and verbally abused just for doing his job. So God made a police officer. God needed someone for people to blame all their problems on, someone who could fight a criminal twice his size just to be accused of brutality by the public, media, and then the administration for being too rough on him. So God made a police officer. God needed someone to stare death in the face and tell him to put the weapon down. Someone who could protect his own life or the lives of others by using force and sometimes violence. Then turn around and be a shoulder to cry on for a grieving victim. So God made a police officer. God needed someone tough and hard on the outside and calm and compassionate on the inside. Someone who could not only be just, but also be fair. Someone who could think on his feet and make life and death decisions in the blink of an eye. So God made a police officer. God needed someone who would not show weakness, even though he was crying on the inside. He needed someone who could work the streets 5 days a week just to turn around and pick up an extra job or shift to support his family. So God made a police officer. God needed someone to be a counselor, a guide, a mechanic, a parent, a teacher, a lawyer, and a mind reader all in one. Someone who could search through all the evidence and lies to figure out what really happened. So God made a police officer. God needed someone to be liked by few, loved by less, and hated by most. someone to be able to solve everyone's problems, then go home to take care of his own. So God made a police officer. God needed someone to run towards the sound of gunshots, screams, and chaos, not away. Someone who could see death and evil on a daily basis, then go home and hold his wife and kids as if nothing happened. God needed someone to be a hero, a knight in shining armor, to a complete stranger. So God made a police officer. Lone Star Police Academy, Class 1301D. It was an honor to serve with you. Thank you for the past 5 months of memories, and remember these 3 things. Stay humble, watch the hands, and watch your 6. Thank you, and may God bless you.